What does it mean to get Sheldon back?
He's knock on wood, he's been having such a nice year. Effective pass rushing. He's been disruptive in the run game. Veteran leadership, knows how to play the game. So getting him back is always good.
With Cedric doubtful, you think you'll be able to activate Fan?
It's a possibility. We'll see. Again, we'll hold on to that one until we have to. But we're going to give Ced every opportunity he can to get back.
When George is back, I mean, is he just going to plug right back in at right tackle, or are you still figuring that out with Max and stuff? Or
It's going to be one of those day-to-day things for sure.
Right, we talked about the Vikings offense the other day. What about Cousins specifically? What stands out to you about him?
Decisive, accurate, great presence in the pocket, gets the ball where it needs to pretty quick. They do a really good job. He's played in this league a long time. He's got a lot of years under his belt, and we've played him before. He's very good.
Did you hear a lot about him from Kyle? And I remember before you guys got Jimmy, that was everyone thought that's where Kirk was going to end up.
No, it's
You're like, this Kyle had him in Washington, right?
yeah. No, they speak the world of him. They speak the world of his mindset, his football IQ, the way he can absorb information, and Kyle is very complex with his schemes. He's one of the best in football, and you've got to be able to handle it. And so if you're one thing I know about Kyle, if he loves you, you've done something right, and he has a tremendous amount of respect for Kurt.
Flacco, Mike's backup again this week.
Yeah.
we saw the other day the D lineman working on jumping on the ball. How much of a point of emphasis has that been, like landing on those fumbles?
It's funny. My brother, God bless him, he sent it, and we do a turnover circuit every week, and you guys happen to catch that one, but those drills happen all the time. There's 3 stations going on. There's front tip rip. There's sack fumble. There's scoop and score. There's drills always happening. We've always taken pride in forcing fumbles, and then that darn oblong ball just seems to be bouncing funny this year. But the bad news is we haven't been recovering. The good news is eventually the analytics on it has to change. Has to. It can't just keep happening this way. So, we'll keep being relentless at trying to get the ball out, and when the ball's on the ground, it's all 11 of the ball and see what happens.
Robert, did you feel like there were things defensively? I mean, it's funny to say this. You gave up 10 points last week and 3 weeks before, but were there things you needed to clean up off the Chicago game?
Yeah, just when you look at the Bears game, that first drive, like I said, there was 2 checkdowns that kind of got away from us, created explosive plays, which led to a field goal. Their next drive, they hit the explosive on the boot, which was a ball designed by them. We could have executed better, but still good job by them. Then the goal ball to Claypool, and then that led to the touchdown. And then we settled from there. But as you get deeper into the season and you get these bigger backs and teams are going to run the football, you've got to be able to tackle. And as it gets colder and it stings a little bit more, you've got to be so much more conscientious about tackling and angles and putting your body on people. So it's not that we need to work on it. It's just we need to be. We just need to continue to keep our focus on all those little details, especially this late in the season when pads start to come off during practice because you're limited. When reps start to come down, you've got to be even more aware of your practice habits and what are you trying to achieve because. Like I said, in practice, because of the time of year and the way you're just trying to get guys through the season, you limit the amount of contact, you limit the amount of things. So there's ways to do it mentally. So you just got to keep your thumb down and keep your thumb on, not thumb down, but you just got to stay on the gas and just make sure you keep the main thing, and that's taking every rep deliberately.
Mike was talking a lot yesterday about how he's able to drown out the noise because when he goes home, all he focuses on is his 2 kids. Is that a good lesson for a lot of these guys? When you I know it's hard with all this.
This guy's got 7 kids.
I'm going to tell you a real quick funny story. So this will be quick. So it's during COVID, and Kyle Shanahan calls me because we're home, and so he's calling me. We're talking about game planning, and my kids are in the back. It's just it's a circus in the house, and I'm listening. He's like, "What the hell is going on back there? Why are you? I mean, are you listening?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got you." What? He goes, "What is all that noise?" I was, "My kids. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, and we hung up the phone. I started laughing, and I talked to him the next day. I was like, "Well, now you know why I can't hear you during a 2-minute drill." Because there's all the chaos of a 2-minute drill. I'm just looking for the one voice I need. I've been well trained at home. So, but yeah, when you're, it's good because we always talk about as just in life, keep the main thing the main thing. And at the end of the day, the main thing is always your family. So I think it's good for him to have that perspective.
We talked a lot in the last year about Mosley and kind of some of the little things he does. I think it was Balding that pointed out on one of his film breakdowns, the sack last week by Bryce. CJ sort of mugged up in the A gap there, and it looked like it made the tackle turn a little bit, and then Bryce beat him.
Yeah.
Was that kind of another example of him just having PhD level football out there?
For sure, just overall studying and understanding it's empty, and you show up versus that particular team. Not every team responds to A gap presence like they would, where they look to double bump, and so really good by him. Just and the timing of it all, it didn't look fake. So it was. So for CJ to recognize empty, to understand the conversations we've had during the week, and to be able to go do that as he's trying to get people lined up, because it's not easy doing what he did, and then still have the wherewithal to do that part of it, which all Bryce needed was just a half a step. Then he got that half a step, and it worked out. But yeah, he's awesome.
Do you think he gets a little overlooked, which seems weird considering that?
I do personally. I do. With CJ, he's had, he had the free agency year, and then a couple of, when you're on a losing team, you're not going to get credit. And then he had the injury, and so he missed the year. And last year's defense, we weren't exactly lighting it up on fire. But I think he's grossly overlooked, to be honest with you. But he's every bit in the conversation, as good as anybody. He's as good as anyone. I've been blessed. I've been very fortunate to be able to coach guys like Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Fred Warner, Paul Plesney, like some really darn good football players, and you can throw CJ in there. He's special.
Yeah, and the fact that he, like we've talked about this a bunch, but just kind of transformed his body. And
he did. He's done going from 250 to 230 last year, really in just a couple months, and then to be able to attack this offseason fully healthy with that 230-pound frame. His play speeds are up. He may have gotten younger, but his body feels, or he's gotten older, but his body feels younger with the way he plays on the field, and just his mind and all of it. So I'm pumped for him. He's having a hell of a year.
Take a couple more.
Your pass rush as a whole, sorry. I think Kirk has been hit the most times as a quarterback in football this year. Just with your defensive line, is that an area you think can take advantage of?
I don't know about take advantage as much as just, we've got confidence in our group to at least just put your best foot forward, play relentless, play violent, and, if we get to him, great. If not, just at the end of the day, he's got to feel you. He's got to smell you. He's got to do something. And I think our D-line takes pride in their one-on-one battles, just like everybody else on defense. So we love our D-line. We'll put them up against anyone, and it's just an opportunity for them to showcase who they are.
How much attention is Quinn drawing, Robert, and what's that meant for other guys on the line? He's gonna, and he has, where the slide's working to him, and they're locating him, and they're making sure that he's always getting attention. Backs are stepping through the line to kind of clog up his A and B gap lane. So what it does is it creates one-on-ones, and you get one-on-ones to Bryce and Jermaine, and Michael Clemens has gotten had gotten a sack. Carl, obviously, anytime you get those guys one-on-ones, we feel confident that those guys, JFM, will get Sheldon back in the fold. So we feel good about it if we can create one-on-ones for our D linemen, and the goal is to always get 4 one-on-ones for the 4 of them. We feel like one of them is going to win, and if you're doubling one of them, it means
three other guys are free for one-on-ones, and we feel good about those matchups too. So.
Is that like the ultimate sign of respect for a D lineman if you're getting double teamed?
Heck yeah. I've been fortunate to coach some that warranted that, and then game planning and just watching, being able to sit in on offensive meetings trying to game plan for a guy like Aaron Donald, or just the amount of discussion and the chaos it creates. And you have to be a special player to get game planned for. When they spend hours just trying to figure out how can we create a protection, because it's not easy to create a protection scheme that's designed to follow somebody wherever he goes, especially on the D line, and the amount of work that goes into it. So when you have a person like Quinnen, you know that they're not wasting because they got to do something, but a lot of their discussion is being spent on that. That means that less stuff is being focused on other things.
Andy mentioned it.
You've got a lot of young players and a lot of rookies contributing and getting to the point of the season where these guys are playing more than they ever have in college. So I'm just curious, like, when do you start thinking about that? I'm sure it's like earlier in the season, like maintenance stuff, but like, how do you kind of deal with that, and how much of a concern is that when these guys are kind of getting into uncharted territory and these are big games, emotional games?
All the rookie walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Our performance staff has done a really good job just in terms of educating these young men, and then working with us as a coaching staff, to bring down and just kind of make sure that the loads are always where they need to be, and just monitoring all the different steps these guys take to make sure we're adjusting daily. It's a moving target, if you will. And there's a participation part of it too, where the player has to be able to ramp up, and that's where the veterans got to step up and just kind of educate these young men. And it is the thing that I could be thankful for is the fact that we do have some meaningful games here in December, so it's a little bit easier to get motivated. But it's tough because the rookie wall. You think about it, like this time of year, guys they're going to school and they're getting ready for their bowl games. It's a completely different mindset, and they still have 6 games left. It's a whole season in college. So. Shirt. All right. Recognizing DePaul Catholic High School. Last week, they won the New Jersey State Championship 1917 at MetLife. Awesome. It's their 6th championship in 10 seasons. Their head coach, Nick Campanelli, 2nd year with the team, already won a championship. And they wear green. Just saying. His brother Vito also won a championship on the same night with Bergen Catholic. It's hell of a family, huh? But good luck. Hell of a deal. What's that? Jesus.
Factory there.